have to go downstairs. Oh, you're up in the house. There's a couple of meetings. Oh, yeah.
Hi, where are you? Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello, can you hear me? There we go. Okay. There's a little more room down in front. There are no seats up here, but if you want to come down and sit on the floor in front of people, if you all don't mind, it's getting pretty crowded back there. So that's another option for you to come down here in front. Hello? You can move one of these tables back. One open up a little more. Move this table against yourself. Be here just for now. And we'll spin it around so it follows that curve. You can even push this chair out just a little bit. That's better. Okay. Does that help a little bit? A little bit, right? Thanks. And so the other thing is that the sound is piped out into the lobby. So you won't necessarily be able to see them, but at least you'll be able to hear them. So if you can't make it in the room, at least you'll be able to hear people out in the lobby. So.
Okay. Everyone's beats what's going on. Everyone good?
Hold on one second.
Yeah. Got you. Then Daphne. Then Janine. Okay. And we're going to leave. But let's have an end time.
I think we have a bigger event.
Yeah. People need to get some sleep. Good to see you. Okay. Who's doing the YouTube clip with it? I mean, do you know? Oh, is someone filming this on YouTube? Weren't they gonna? Or whatever. We are. Okay. I want to be able to make that announcement and not live.
Please do. Thank you. Longmont,
Can I just make an announcement? I'm looking for Emma Hall. Emma Hall. Are you? I've been told you're here. Not yet, maybe? Okay. I'll make another announcement. Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming, and I want to thank the City of Longmont for being such a great partner to Lyons in this time, offering us their facilities. They have been working at many levels with Lyons through this crisis. Tonight's meeting is being live streamed on www.longmontchannel.com, and it will be archived, so folks that are not able to watch live or come can click on the link. We will post that link on the town's website and probably YouTube. I'm not sure how that works, but it will be available for you to send around. Yep, www.longmontchannel.com. Okay? So 1 week ago, Lyons' reality changed. We have been hit with a devastating flood, town being isolated, a significant destruction of infrastructure and property, and a lot of dislocation to all of us. We've been through a lot, and I want to acknowledge the incredible efforts of the Town of Lyons staff throughout this. The emergency responders, particularly the Boulder County Sheriff's and the Lyons Fire Department, and the citizens of Lyons. I was not, as you might have heard, I was out of the country, and one thing that has struck me when I got back was just how appreciative people were and how solid neighbors, helping neighbors. I've heard such heartwarming stories. You know, my parents were isolated on one part of town, right? You know, and they were taken care of by their neighbors and by the folks that were organizing those. We all have those stories. They're personal. And it showed that we are in this together, all of us. It's not citizens and staff, Board of Trustees, I want to thank for all being here tonight, and citizens. I mean, we're all going through this together. We're trying to relocate our own families. I'm sleeping in an RV, you know. So we really, I think that this is an incredible community. Lyons is not just a place, and now we've temporarily lost our place. So the big challenge in this next phase, as almost everyone in town has been evacuated, is how do we hang together as a community? I think when the first days of the disaster were occurring, in a way it was almost easier because you were cut off from the world, you were together, and now we are in the four winds. People have had to disperse and find their way, and the challenge to the town of Lyons is to make sure that we stay together as a community throughout this. And this meeting tonight is the first effort in that direction. We will try and hold community meetings outside of town to keep this face-to-face interaction. And we will keep you updated on how that's going to happen. Longmont has made offers, and we will try and keep this going. I think what I've seen and experienced is there's a bit of a shift in the experience now as we're homeless in a way, and that means stress is increasing, frustration, and we get it. I just want to tell everyone up here that's going to be answering questions gets it and is living through it themselves. So you know that we are harnessing resources as fast as we can. Sometimes so fast that we can't yet communicate that. Sometimes because we have no internet and phone service. There's some practicalities about getting information out that is super challenging. But we have fabulous partners. Boulder County, Office of Emergency Management, all the Boulder County departments, the Sheriff's Office, the Army Corps of Engineers is in there, FEMA, we have state, private, you name it, and town staff is trying to orchestrate all that right now. We are looking for reinforcing town's own capacity to do that with some experts in managing disasters. So this is unfolding on an hourly basis. I don't think Victoria Simonson has slept in 8 days. We could not be better served. We will strive to keep you informed, but I just want to underline that things change quickly, and sometimes we don't have all the answers. And sometimes the answer today was different than it was yesterday. So it's a request to bear with us. We're not keeping any information. It is happening in real time. And we don't have it all figured out yet. We have a number of things ongoing. Tonight, just walking in here, we have had 3 people say, I've got an announcement to make. So we're going to clear a little announcement time before Sergeant Goldberger and Victoria Simonson give the kind of state of what's going on right now and how Lyons is doing in different things. We also have some resources being developed outside of Lyons. We have many of you have been through Lifebridge Church. They've been a life bridge. No? And they continue to be. I want to say that we are aware that handing out the entrance passes that first 5 hours was a nightmare on all sides. Overwhelmed, these are volunteers doing this. And within 2 hours, we had a dozen volunteers show up from Longmont, from Lyons, and staff those tables, and those lines went down to nothing. So it has been a learning experience for everyone, but I just want to apologize because I know you're waiting in the sun and exhausted and frustrated, and that was hard. The one resource that we are developing, I don't know if you've been to the Twin Peaks Mall. There's the Disaster Assistance Center of Boulder County and the city of Longmont. Yesterday, we negotiated with them. Actually, we asked, and they said we'd be happy to help. That was a negotiation. About having a Lyons resource area there, because we can't have meetings in Town Hall in Lyons, and we have our own local resources that we want to mobilize, and we want to have, our nonprofits, our businesses have a recognizable face to plug in. It will also provide one-stop shopping. There are county services there, FEMA is there, and so today we've got a volunteer and a Board of Trustees member working to figure out how to set that up, but it will have a business support presence. This is extremely important. One of our goals, moving from disaster, emergency response to survival, is to make sure our businesses can weather this. And we're going to have to figure out some creative ways to doing that. And first is to get them information. So the Economic Development Commission and the Chamber of Commerce will be coming together to figure out how to get support, everything from getting people to help you move inventory to getting through paperwork with the SBA. So that will be developing hopefully quickly. We also have so many people that want to give and help. How do we coordinate those volunteers? We're going to try and help start coordinating them there, and particularly for the people that need emergency assistance. The Lyons Community Foundation is standing up strong on this. They have already raised $165,000 for the Emergency Relief Fund. We're going to get them and social services and our churches to have a presence at the resource center so we can get the people that are in most need direct assistance right away as the bureaucracies catch up with, formal assistance from other levels. So I want to just let you know what we're going to present tonight. We have, as I said, 3 resource people here. Oh, also, before I forget, on the resource center over there, if anyone wants to offer their services, that's a good place to go and leave a card or a message. I have one from Kyra Toledo, who says she will give free vet services. So if any of you have those kinds of abilities to help each other, let's put it on the wall there and get some information. Not everyone has access to internet. We'll try and keep things being posted online, but a physical space is hopefully going to help that feeling of connection that's so important. So we will have these 3 brief presentations for resources for y'all, and then our Lyons Substation Supervisor, Nick Goldberger, is going to let us know about security and emergency response issues, and then our Town Administrator, Victoria Simonson, is going to give a state of everything, infrastructure, and how we're doing. And then we will have time for questions. I'm going to limit it to 8:30 that we're out here because these guys are exhausted and they have another long day tomorrow and we're all tired. But so I know there's a million questions. We will try and get those answered, if not tonight, as soon as possible. And there's questions that we are not going to have the answers for. But knowing that's the question will help us figure out the answer. So I appreciate your patience and thank you for coming. To tell you who's coming up. First, I want to invite Kevin McKenna up from FEMA. Something came up today. A lot of people that circled through Lifebridge and got a green sheet of paper felt that they were already registered with FEMA, and you're not if you didn't go online or call or enter it. And this was the case of my own family. So that's what we're going to announce. Just make sure everyone knows exactly the steps to follow to get registered to FEMA.
Good evening. I'd like to thank the mayor for inviting me here and all you residents for having me here this evening. I just want to give you a quick little sorry about that. I just want to let you know that one of the first process with FEMA, we need to get you guys all registered. If you have not registered, 1-800-621-3362 have been on the FEMA website. We have a staff standing upstairs right now at tables that are more willing to register any one of you folks that want to be up there. It's about a 15 to 20-minute process. We'd like to get every one of you registered. If you don't have time this evening to register, come over to Twin Peaks Mall. We have a staff over there that will sit down with anyone that wants to register. If you need assistance just to add something to your case, please get with one of our representatives upstairs. But please make sure we take the time to make sure everybody is registered with FEMA that has sustained some kind of damage. But like I said, we do have the resources upstairs this evening. If anybody would like to go up there and meet with any one of the staff members that are upstairs from FEMA, they'll sit down with you and work through the registration process with you. But please take the time to make sure you get yourself all registered so we can get you some federal assistance if possible. And thank you very much, and you all have a good evening.
Sorry, I'm butting in on the agenda, but as far as FEMA goes, you should know that it's not your job to deny yourself a claim, so call FEMA, okay? Also, even if you haven't sustained flood damage, does not mean FEMA cannot or will not help. That's not what I heard. I know, and we were originally put on some sort of funky status because we haven't sustained flood damage. But my wife called and explained, we're evacuees, we can't live there, we have no water, sewer, we have no electric, we have no gas. And they changed the claim. So please, call FEMA. If you prefer to talk to someone, talk, because you can actually communicate some of those things better in person than online. So please do that. It's really important, and they've helped us, so I'm sure they're going to help you too.
All right, we also have with us tonight Daphne Goodwin, who's the postmaster of Lyons.
Hi, everyone. It's great to see you. Okay, updates. I guess apparently some people have thought that mail is being piled up in Lyons, but it hasn't been. The last day that mail came to Lyons was on Wednesday, before the flood. Everything now at this point is coming to Longmont, Maine Post Office. And there's a special call window for anyone wanting to come to pick up their mail to come up to their mail. There's a tiny bit of mail left in Lyons, and we have retrieved some of it, and we're going to try to retrieve the rest of it, but it's very minimal. Also, as far as anyone living on Riverside or above all the way to Allen's Park is getting mail delivery. The carrier's traveling 2 hours up to give them mail delivery up there. So, and anyone that knows anything else, like I said, Estes Park is completely functional now. It's got mail delivery there. Allen's Park is completely functional with mail delivery there. So up above it, they're taking about a 3-hour trip to get up there, but they're getting up there. So I just want you to know that all your mail is at Longmont, Maine Post Office. And some of you might know people in Longmont and Boulder, and there is some deliveries that can't be delivered in Longmont and Boulder also. Because of the flooding, the carriers can't get in there. But let's see, what else would pertain to here? I don't know if anyone knows Masonville, but they're in Loveland. Jamestown is in Nederland. Glen Haven is in Loveland. Drake is in Loveland. So if you know anyone in that area, just to update you what's going on with everything. So, but we're waiting to see you. We've been looking forward to you. Okay, thank you guys, and have a great evening. Oh, okay. The Longmont, I don't even know the address that well. The Longmont Post Office is 201 Kaufman Street. There is a phone number if people want to write it down also. It's 303-776-0184, and you can ask for me or ask for anyone. We'll pick up the phone if you want some information. They'll page us. So, but like I said, there's a window all set up. We've got these huge cardboard boxes with all your P.O. boxes, and the carriers are down in the in the garage with the vehicles at this time. So, but we have everything operational. We were up in 2 days. So, yes. Oh, the number is 303-776-0184. Okay.
Daphne, this includes all the routes out of Lyons that are.
Yes,
in
all the
Longmont.
routes out of Lyons are there. Everything is there. We're just waiting for you to pick up your mail. So I know you're waiting for your medications and things like
Just for everybody's, do we need ID to pick up our mail?
Well, we know most of you, but just bring your ID. Bring your ID in case, because it is specifically at that window Lyons people that are giving out the mail, specifically. We're all, the 4 of us are giving out your mail. So sometimes I guess people are going up to the front window, but we know most of you, so I wouldn't, bring your ID just in case you never show up at the post office and we don't know you. But, but yes. But it's great to see you all and see you safe. Pardon me? Yes.
We had our mail forwarded to another address. How soon do we expect to start getting that, as well as do we need to go and pick up your mail?
No, your mail is being forwarded at this time. Everything is out and forwarded. Yes.
Upper Stone Canyon is 80503, but we're delivered in Lyons. Where is that going?
Upper Stone. Oh, Upper Stone Canyon. No, that would be affected through the Longmont office. That would be at the Longmont office also.
Where can you be reached for questions? Because I think lots of
You
people
can-
have individual, situations, and
You can
they come
reach
to
me
see
at this. You can reach me. Ask for me anything. I'll answer this phone number. Just ask directly for me. You have any
Okay.
questions?
And that's
people have been
Daphne
calling.
Goodwin you want to ask for. If you've got
Yeah,
individual
just-
questions about your own specific
Yeah,
situation.
just call. Just call. And I'm there 6 days a week, so for very long hours. So anyways, well, we're trying to get your mail, so. But anyways, don't hesitate to call or ask for me. I'm there. All right?
I also want to welcome Janine Annabelle from Mental Health Services, Boulder County. Here we go. As I said, I think as the days drag on and the weeks drag on, I think the stress levels increase. There's a lot of uncertainty, and I think that we often overlook our mental health and just dealing with our day-to-day, getting life back on track. And so I think it's important what she's going to say.
Good evening, everybody. Again, my name is Janine, and I am with Mental Health Partners, and we're the community mental health center that serves Boulder and Broomfield County. And we're your community mental health partner in this. As you know all too well, what you all have just experienced is highly distressing. So our goal is to help you in any way we can, whether that's talk about stress, how you're coping, really normal to feel depressed or anxious, feelings of grief and loss, and even some guilt. So feel free. We have 4 or 5 of us here tonight, and if you'll just stand, we have these purple vests on. So we have Charlotte over there, and we have Sarah and Liz, and Agata is in the back, who is also bilingual. If people prefer to speak Spanish, we're here tonight. And we have information. We can talk with you tonight if you're worried about a family member, a friend. We can give you some strategies of how to talk with them or talk with us. And then we can give you information about how to access services if you're interested in counseling for you or somebody you care about. Okay? So please be sure we're going to be here till the end of the meeting. Seek us out and know we're here for you. And by all means, take care of yourself and be very gentle with yourself. What the community has experienced is a trauma. And I think so much after trauma, we just want to say, okay, let's just move on, move forward, and that's good. And we want to realize that it was a big deal, and it is a big deal what's happened. So we want to make sure we're taking care of ourselves emotionally too. Okay, so seek us out. We're your partner in this, and it's an amazing community, and glad to be here with you all tonight. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Yes. contact information, we have some flyers and handouts in the back, but it's Mental Health Partners, and it's mhpcolorado.org is our website, or if you Google Mental Health Partners Boulder County, you'll find us. Okay, thanks a lot. Phone number, you want the phone number? Our phones are down. We were impacted by the flooding as well. Oh, they're working now? Oh. Okay, the main number is 303-443-8500. Okay, thanks, Shell.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nick Goldberger. I'm a sergeant with the Sheriff's Office and Town Alliance Supervisor. First, want to start this out. Is Emma Hall out there? Emma? I'll wait a few. If you guys could make a little room for her, please.
My name is Emma Hall. I'm the Boulder County Coroner. And as a lot of you know, from the very beginning of this, Mr. Jerry Boland has been missing. And I wanted to come here tonight to confirm the most recent update. I know there's been a lot of rumors, and I've been working very closely with the family. We did find his body this afternoon, and he has been positively identified, and the family is aware. So I just wanted to deliver that message to the community myself. I've known Mr. Boland my whole life. He was my 5th grade teacher, and it was my honor to be out there trying to find him, and I'm so glad we did. I really didn't know if we would be able to do that, but I think that was going to bring a lot of closure, not only to his direct immediate family, but to our community as well. There's so many people that knew Mr. Boland and loved and cared about him, and so I think this is going to be a great step forward for a lot of us. So thank you for your time.
So I want to focus on the big picture, a little bit what's going on with Boulder County, just Boulder County. There's stuff happening in every single county we have in Colorado. First, hitting on Mr. Boland, this afternoon, the Urban Search and Rescue Team from Colorado Task Force 1 did find Mr. Boland in the stream bed area of the North St. Vrain. Then they, of course, notified the coroner's office, and our detectives were on scene, and it went from there. So that's just a little information that being a town and so close-knit that we are, that's important to get that out to you. As of right now, we have 0 missing people. But what that means is if any of you call and say, I have not found Bob or somebody, or I have not heard from them, that number is going to fluctuate because our detectives, our urban search and rescue, are going to and be tasked with finding every person that is in our area to make sure that we have 100% accountability, okay? So you will see this going up and down for probably many weeks to go. That is why that is happening. Let's touch on the media. The media we're probably going to open up again a little bit later on, probably at the weekend or next week. I think that is important. I think you might agree that it's important for the world and the states and everybody else to see what's happening in the town of Lyons. I want to stress that if you have no interest at all of talking to the media, if you could please put something out in your front yard, on your mailbox, say not interested, something of that sort. If you are interested, please feel free to talk to the media and state anything that you'd like, but that is up to you. You guys have gone through a lot, and so you decide. Our focus for the Sheriff's Office is security for both people's lives, their well-being, their health, as well as property. With that, we called in the National Guard to be our extra set of eyes and ears, meaning this: they are working for the Sheriff's Office. They are not a militia. They are not any type of military establishment that is not run or guided by the Sheriff's Office. So with that, for your security, we called them in. Meaning this: you will see probably at least 6 military vehicles, also personnel on foot, walking around the Lyons area, everything that's been affected, and they will be doing patrols. If they see anything suspicious, they will call our deputies, and our deputies will come in and contact whatever's suspicious and take care of business. So as you know, when it's dark out, we're having a curfew. This is for your safety of yourselves and your property. So if you get called on and one of our deputies comes to say hi to you, it's because they are caring about your property and they want to see and make sure that nothing is happening. So I want to stress, they are our eyes and ears only, working for the Sheriff's Office. Again, health, as stated before, there is no sewer, there is no power in most areas, there is no water, there is no gas. That is a health hazard for the folks that are opting to stay in the area. We would prefer that the people leave. No offense, but that would be healthier for you. You guys are grown-ups. You guys are going to make your decision. This is not a mandatory evacuation. As such, you guys are making a decision. We will try to work with the people. We will try to work with how you are working to make life go on as easy as possible. However, this is a relationship between us and you and how we can make it work. This is going to be working and changing daily. Just as our meetings change over 12 hours, sometimes things change, sometimes decisions change, and with that, be flexible that we will change a decision because of the way that things are happening in town. As the town manager will explain later on, we have a lot of stuff going on, and with that, we're working with that to try to make it easier for the folks as well. But do not be misunderstood. Your safety and the safety of the property is what the Sheriff's Office is all about, and that's what we're going to do to the best of our ability. Tomorrow, just for a little information for you folks, the people up in Pinewoods Hills and so forth have a lot of numbers who are trying to evacuate, a lot of people. Starting tomorrow, working with some property owners, they will be evacuating, coming down North 71st, down Apple Valley, and then going through town of Lyons, and then coming to Longmont. So with the cooperation with the town of Lyons and some private property owners up in Boulder County up there, we are assisting with probably evacuating, I don't know how many amount of people, but probably doing caravans of 20 vehicles apiece for the next 2 days. So that's going to be happening. So understand we're having a lot of traffic going out of town, and that might be hindering some of the people coming into town tomorrow, but just realize these people are leaving and they've had a hard time as well. When you have any questions for me afterwards, we'll do it after Victoria can give you guys the big picture reference, the town itself, and we'll go from there.
Good evening. It's really nice to see all of you again and not be screaming out over Sandstone Park in the drizzling rain. Thank you for taking the time to come tonight, and we are going to try our best to continue to communicate with you as frequently and as regularly as possible. I want to give you some basic information about what's going on inside the town of Lyons in regard to our infrastructure. As you know, this is being called a major disaster declaration. It is quite unusual for an entire community to be without, as Sergeant Goldberger said, water, sewer, electric, gas, and all communications. We are working in very, very close partnership with the St. Vrain Valley School District, the Sheriff's Office, all of the utility and power companies around us, as well as law enforcement officials, to keep our community safe and to get it put back together as quickly as possible so we can all go home. That includes me. I want you to know that. I certainly understand where all of you are at right now, and it's not a very comfortable place. And so we are working to get things back in order. So for those of you who have not been back in Lyons since the disaster occurred, as the mayor said, you will find it is very different. First and foremost, the river was at such velocity and capacity that it literally has changed its course. And so in certain sections of town, the river is literally about 200 feet south of where it was. And so it's a visual almost a nightmare. It's really difficult to get your spatial, what's the word I want? Thank you, bearing. I'm kind of, my words are not coming well anymore. When you're there. But we are waiting and we're hoping to attend a meeting tomorrow that the discussion is purely about the river. We can't go into full recovery mode until we know if the river is going to be put back to its original bed or if they're going to keep it where it's at. And that is a big decision that has to be made and will impact many, many landowners throughout our canyon and throughout our community. And so we have a meeting tomorrow afternoon about that. Once we know that, we will be able to determine if our water and wastewater lines will be able to go back exactly where they were or if we're going to have to change that, okay? I want to tell you that Jim Blankenship is over here. He is the town's engineer, and he has, put your hand up, Jim. He has been working tirelessly along with the rest of the staff to try to come up with solutions as quickly as possible. You need to know that our 12-inch water transmission line has been compromised. We think it has been compromised in several locations. The bacteria test came back actually just today, and the water system does have E. coli in it now, which means that there has been a breach, and we don't want you using any of the water, so it was turned off from Longmont, from our pump station into town. All right? That's a 12-inch line. Some of it we still can't get to. It's under the river yet in certain sections of town. So it is critical we get that back up and get it disinfected before we would want any of you to be back. The wastewater treatment plant was actually came out better than we thought it would. When we first saw the pictures, it was completely just a couple little islands of buildings. We have been fortunate to get it isolated. We've built a road to it. The engineers, the Department of Health, FEMA, who else was there today? Lots of people there today. Corps of Engineers, to look at our wastewater plant. Their very preliminary damage assessment is that probably for about $1 million we can get it working temporarily. So we are pumping out that main clarifier, which is the metal dome building, and we will be hopefully starting up the digesters. So if you are in town, you will be smelling that all around town. And we want to get that, seeing if we can get it operating. If so, we'll probably lay some temporary wastewater collection lines and try to get that up and going. We have 5 manholes in that lower area of town that are purely packed as solid as cement with mud and rocks. Those have to be jetted out. Those have to be camera'd, surveyed, and they have to be repaired if necessary before we can put that wastewater system online. All of those things are going to take time. And we are working very hard. Everyone is really cooperating well to get that going. And I have authorized staff that if you need additional help or manpower to get that going, the sooner the better. So I don't have any specific timelines yet on when we think water and wastewater will be available. What I can tell you is we are working very hard to get that done, and as soon as possible, we will get those up and running so you guys can get home. Better news in regard to gas and electric. The electric transmission line coming into town runs along Highway 66. It used to be on the south side of that road. It is now on the north side of the road. And the power company has been able to get poles in from all over the country to get those placed. The wire has been hung, and we are getting close to getting power at least to the fire station. Our goal is to get it to the fire station by Saturday. For those of you who don't know, we have been working out of emergency operating centers and evacuation centers without any power. That is not easy. And so we're hoping to get them lit up by Saturday. And as soon as the fire department feels it is safe to turn on electricity and gas, we will do that. However, we do not have the capacity to fight any fires right now. We have 2 pumper trucks full of water. That is it. If there is an electrical fire or a gas fire, we can't fight it right now. So it is better to be safe and get everything tested and brought online gradually. So you need to know we are closer with those. Those will be probably online quicker than the water and wastewater. I did hear today some areas outside of Lyons that you might be interested in. Apple Valley, the upper section of Apple Valley, besides the first 8 homes going north, XL has got gas turned on to them. So if you have people up there, they now have gas. And we did have a major gas leak yesterday at the intersection of 3666. They did get that repaired. Also, Lyons Power and Communications has energized the upper Apple Valley area as well. So those folks now have electric and gas going. Let's see. You may know that we have started a permit system to allow folks to go back into Lyons. As the mayor said, that was kind of messy yesterday, getting it initiated. But what I can tell you is that today, the folks that live in the areas that were most impacted south of Park and east of 5th got to see their homes for the first time. That was pretty devastating. We had 75 homes in that area that are either severely damaged or totally destroyed. We had people on the ground, victims advocates, search and rescue teams to help them enter their homes as safely as possible to get the sentimental things they could still access and to help them evacuate the area again. The Markel, Lyons Valley Park, Lyons Valley Village, Lyons Park Estates, all were able to enter their homes starting today for a few hours. My promise to people as they were coming through was if we could do this permitting in an orderly and cooperative fashion, we will try to do that every week or 2 so that you can get home, see your house, you know, switch out clothes or whatever. I have to tell you, today went good. So that's a good sign. Yeah. Tomorrow, folks up that need to go up Highway 36 north, Apple Valley and Eagle Canyon, they will get to go to their homes tomorrow, as well as a few other people in other areas of town. And then on Saturday, the main portion of Lyons will be able to go to their homes. So I just ask that you continue to be really cooperative with that. Go to your home. We have boxes available that have been donated. If you need a box to help store things. We have dumpsters set up. We had 5 large roll-offs delivered today. As you exit town, please throw away your perishable items. We want you to keep your large items like sofas and furniture on the curbside. Those just take up too much space in those dumpsters, okay? So we want you to put those curbside. Do not put them in the road in case we would get more rain. We need that gutter clear. So I do ask that of you as you go into the community over the coming days. Let's see, roads and bridges. Highway 3666, I was thrilled to see they are actually rebuilding that bridge as of yesterday. They are out there with large metal beams and they are working away. So that is obviously a priority to the state to get that bridge repaired. It's also my understanding that Highway 36 North, where there is a large section of road missing right at Stone Mountain Lodge, is also a priority to get rebuilt. Highway 7 North at Heil Ranch still has a large portion of missing road. It sounds like that will come after the other one is repaired. Those aren't decisions that we get to make at our level, But nonetheless, I want to let you guys know what's going on with that. We did move the checkpoint today. For the permits, you used to have to stop out at 53rd and be able to go into town. Tonight, as I was leaving, they were moving the checkpoint to 3666. So now people who live east of that will be able to go in and out of your homes without having to stop and without needing a permit. Okay? Let's see what else we have. We do have McConnell Bridge. If you are, X-Bar 7 and Blue has been energized by Poudre Valley REA, if you have friends up there. And Blue Mountain is scheduled to be energized tomorrow. So for those of you who haven't been in the area, I only have one copy, but I do have the initial damage assessment of that southwest neighborhood and which homes have what level of damage. If you have not been there, I'd rather tell you now before you walk into that. So if you live in that area of town, I'm happy to have you look at this when we leave. Mm-hmm.
For those of us on that side of town,
yes.
Let everybody know that if their house, trailer, whatever, has an orange sticker,
yes.
do not
I can, yes. If you live in that section of town, every home has a placard that either says limited access or no access. If it says no access, that means that it is a safety issue. Something in the foundation or roof or walls has fallen, and we don't want people going in it.
Before they actually knock them down, will they give us a chance?
Yes, yes. You need to get registered with FEMA, and then you will be contacted by one of them, and they will go into your home with you, and they will do an assessment. The river in that area of town is still running quite strongly, and I saw people today trying to cross that swift water. Do not go near the water, honestly. It is not clean. It is, as debris gets removed above Lyons, that river is ebbing and flowing, and we get spurts of high water. It is just too dangerous. There's also so much debris. You'll be probably shocked by the amount of debris. We don't know what's in that debris. There could be hazardous materials, there could be gas, there could be, animals that didn't survive. There could, it's just don't go near the debris, don't move it. That will all come at a later stage. Okay? Question?
boulderfloodrelief.org has 1,500 volunteers we've just recruited, and we want to help Lyons when we finally get it.
Okay. Thank you. I think that's appropriate. The mayor was saying groups that want to help.
Yep, I'll contact you.
Okay. That sounds good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. McConnell Bridge. Our beautiful McConnell Bridge that was just built not too long ago has absolutely no water running under it. The river is all the way to the south under the Markel model homes and in their backyard now. There's no more ponds. Bone Park has lost the baseball fields. There's quite a large waterfall in that area. The town did lose their public works building down there at the wastewater plant, which really created havoc the night of the emergency because the bottom fell out and all of our equipment fell into the river, including every barricade and cone we owned. And so it has been very, very trying, but we have been very, very supported by the neighboring communities and law enforcement to get us what we've needed recently. As you enter back into town, we do want to ask you, please bring your own drinking water. Okay? We have set up porta potties in each of the neighborhoods so that while you're there, you do have that amenity. But we do have a no flush order. When this first happened, we kind of allowed you to fill your toilet tank and flush in your house. No more. Now that we know all of those manholes on the lower levels of town are absolutely full, every time you flush the toilet, it fills the line a little higher, and pretty soon it's going to start coming up in your neighbors' homes that live in the lower levels. And we don't want any of you to go home in a couple of weeks and then find out you have all sorts of sewer damage. So no more flushing. not even down the sink, okay? No flushing. Throw your gray water and stuff outside on the grass. Use the porta potties. Do not touch or drink the water. If you're going in, wear gloves, boots, all the things to protect your body, because we know there's E. coli in that water, okay? Question?
So this is sort of a two-pronged question, and this is regard to water and sewer. People planning, we're all out of our homes.
Yes.
Planning, are we looking at days, weeks, months?
Yeah.
And the weather is going to be getting cold.
Yes. Yes.
We're going to have to worry about any water that's in the system in our homes.
Yes. Those are probably the two, biggest questions I get. And I keep looking at Jim, but until we can even see our water line, I mean, the river has to go down. We can't be working on 12-inch transmission lines underwater. It just is the way it is. So, Jim, you have any answers? Weeks or months?
Probably the last.
Probably the last. What I can tell you is that if we can lay temporary lines above ground, we will do that. If it gets too cold, that won't work, obviously. But if we can get temporary lines in place in weeks, that will last us for a couple months till we can't go that route. Jim?
We are just finishing up the search and rescue mode, so we haven't been authorized to move fully ahead with actual construction of replacement of lines. We have done some things at the wastewater plant, but we do have the disaster assessment team coming in from FEMA, which will move us into that next phase. That being said, we did not stop any water from coming back out of the water lines during the storm. Quite frankly, we couldn't get to anything to see what to do. So the mains in the street are generally drained, so it's very possible that except for your water heaters, a lot of the pipes in your house have drained back out as well. So there is a possibility of, yes, freezing when we get to that point in time. Depends on what the fall holds. We're going to go as hard as we can, as soon as we can. And even when we get the transmission system back in place, we still have to go into all of the individual neighborhoods, and we have to bring those online too. And there's some precautionary measures we have to do there, starting with the meters, so that we're not sending water into your house if someone accidentally left a faucet on, or if you've got a broken toilet valve and starting to cause problems there as well. So.
Okay, I know we're going to have lots of questions about this. Actually, I saw a hand over here first. Yes. I will. Okay, I think we're talking water and wastewater first, but the message was that Longmont the Lyons Milestone Clinic has temporarily been moved to Longmont United Hospital on Mountain View, if you're looking for your doctor and the clinic. Reed.
We had received our passes yesterday.
Yes.
Before they did the neighborhood by neighborhood.
Yes.
Are we still able to use that?
Yes, you are able to use your pass on the day it was issued for, whether or not which neighborhood you're in. We will fine-tune that permit system. We just really wanted people to get in, be able to see that their house is all right, or the amount of damage it might have. Let you get things, because school is starting for our kids next week at Longmont High School, at Old Main, here in Longmont, and people need books and clothes and things like that. So we need to tell you that the St. Vrain Valley School District did an amazing job getting a school lined up for all our kids to be together with their existing teachers, with their current schedules, and do that in a week. It's pretty amazing. It is. You may not be aware that Town Hall also was flooded. And so on top of dealing with this disaster, all my staff are trying to deal with this disaster with no supplies, no equipment, no computers, no records, and working out of the back of trucks and things. And the St. Vrain Valley School District has given us the elementary school offices to use over the next few weeks while they dry out our office. So if you're looking for town hall staff, we are up at the elementary school. I want to send out the message that as of right now, you don't worry about your utility bill in town. We're going to, yeah, you have no service, I know. But we will deal with that in a week or two. It is just not a priority at this moment. I had a couple hands here first. Christine. Yes. Mm-hmm. I'll repeat it. Okay. Yes. Yes. Two questions. One was, what can we do individually to weatherize our house for this disaster? When you left, our encouragement was to turn off your electricity at the main breaker, turn off your gas at the meter, and to, what was our other one? Gas and water main at the master water. We still strongly encourage that. As Jim said, we would hate for you to have thought the faucet was off and when we turn the water on, it isn't. So we do encourage you to do that. If you're not there and not able to do that, make contact with us and we can send someone over. All right? There'll be plenty of time to actually weatherize before it gets cold. The second thing about permits, the permits were issued as a trial basis this time. And like I said, depending on how well it worked this week and how organized and cooperative people were, we'll try it again. The permit you have right now is just for now, okay? We might be able to do a little less cumbersome system next week or the week after that maybe doesn't even require that paper. So we're going to fine tune that after we see how it goes this week. I had one more back here first.
Do you want to use the mic so people can?
Oh, yeah. That'd be great. Thank you. Yes. The what?
The boil order
okay.
extends to our well. We're right outside of the city limits.
I don't know if their microphone was working, sir. I couldn't hear it.
Try one more.
We are in unincorporated Boulder County,
yes.
right outside of the city limits. We have heard that there is a boil order for
yes.
wells
yes.
as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true? And how deep?
I have heard that some of the other water districts have implemented boil orders. So if you've been told that, I would encourage you to follow it.
Okay. We haven't seen anything in writing. It's just word of mouth.
Yeah, I believe it was, anybody know, was it Left Hand? Left Hand Water District is under a boil order, if that's where your water comes from. Yes, Evan.
I was wondering, maybe not necessarily.
Here you go. Okay.
Thank you.
Real close to your mouth.
All right. I was wondering, maybe not all of our possessions are at our house. We might have a car parked at a friend's house
sure.
or whatever. Is there going to be a way to where we can pull together as a community and go help dig our neighbors out and stuff with the pass system the way it's implemented?
Sure.
Is that going to change anytime
soon?
Sure.
No, we're gonna be able to loosen that up as the days go by. Right now, what we're trying to do is really keep people in the neighborhoods so that in that core area of town, the contractors and construction equipment can work very freely. If you have a situation, I have just seen our sheriff and the people at the checkpoint being very, they're being thorough, but they're also trying to be reasonable. And we want to accommodate the people that live in Lyons. We're not there to inconvenience you further. We're just trying to keep the people who aren't supposed to be there out.
Now, and one other question, for business owners that might not live in Lyons but own businesses in Lyons, will there be a pass system implemented for them?
If you own a business in Lyons, right now there is a pass system for them.
Okay, thank you.
You can walk around. There's several out there.
Just anybody.
Okay.
I'm just
wait, I guess he wants to do the microphone.
I'd just like to know what is the best source of information for us that would like to come and help
Sure.
at the appropriate time.
Sure.
there are so many different sources. What would you say is the best way for us to find out when that time comes?
Sure. The question was, what's the best source to get information and find out how you can help as well as just get information? The Town of Lyons website has now been linked to the Town of Lyons Facebook, which is linked to the Boulder County Office of Emergency Management. So we're all sharing information now at the same time and available to each. The lyonsrecorder.com is trying to keep up-to-date information. The newspaper is going to continue to publish so that even if you are out of town, you can find out what's going on. They're going to be distributing it at the school every week so kids can take that home, and it's going to be available at the
Lifebridge and FEMA.
Lifebridge and FEMA. Oh, you mean the Recovery Center. So.
The Recovery Center at Twin Peaks Mall and the Lifebridge Church.
So if you're looking for a newspaper, there's still going to be troopers and continue to print that for us.
On Thursdays.
Will you get your subscriptions in the mail still?
Yes, you will.
Yes.
Daphne, is that true?
Yes. They're all in the mailbox.
So I would encourage you to continue to watch those websites. If you don't feel that you are internet savvy or whatever, there's the newspaper. And if you are still in the Town of Lyons, we're trying to post things at the visitor center.
Victoria, I have one other thing to say about the newspaper. We have last Thursday's newspaper. It never got delivered. I have it in my office. I've got about maybe 600 or 700 copies of it. Once we're back in, if you want one as a keepsake to say, wow, this is what was going to happen at the rate we will have them. So they're there, but it won't be available until we're all back in. But we got about 600 copies, and I'll keep them for you.
Okay. Okay, who has the microphone? Yes.
Yeah, ever since it started and I started filing my insurance claims, going through all the hassle and stuff, and surprisingly today I was contacted by 3 different adjusters that have flown in from out of state and were trying to meet up with me to get my claims going, and all 3 of them were informed that they could not enter the town. They couldn't get permits or something. How am I going to get my insurance claims going if they won't let these people into town?
Are you in unincorporated or are you in Town of Lyons?
I'm in town.
Okay. What the FEMA staff have told us is that until we get through search and rescue and response mode, they don't really want people in for recovery. We need to get a full assessment of all the damages. And once that occurs, then we can allow those folks in. Now, does anyone have other information from that? No. That's the information I have been given.
I mean, till they can't come to town, I can't get any money.
I know,
you know?
I know. But they want a full damage assessment by FEMA at the federal level so that your insurance company may not be the one who's recouping that. Oh, so he's saying they're telling him FEMA can't help him till their insurance has been there. You know what I'm going to do? Now that we have the system in place for our residents, let us see if we can work out something for insurance, okay? Give me a day. Give me a day. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, guys.
Yeah, take photos. Take lots of photos.
So I just wanted to say, first of all, Julie's talking about the Recovery Center, so that's the information we're trying to gather over there.
Resource Center.
Resource Center.
Yeah,
Resource
closer to
Center.
your mouth.
Resource Center. Okay, but here's something to listen because everybody that goes into town, I just pulled this off the city of Boulder. We're plagiarizing from them. Documentation of the damage to your home and personal belongings is very important to qualify for assistance. Separate damaged from undamaged property. Your adjuster will need evidence of the damage to your home and possessions to prepare your repair estimate. Document as much as possible, including dates and times. I know it's hard. Take photographs if you can, video of all damaged property, including discarded objects, structural damage, standing floodwater, etc. Make a list of damaged or lost items, include their date of purchase, etc. Officials may require disposal of damaged items, so, if possible, place flooded items outside your home. So they want you to keep it, don't
Yes,
pick it up
don't
yet.
take it to the dumpsters.
And
Keep it
save all
roadside.
receipts related to everything we're doing right now with dates and times. And they've
Okay.
also told us every one of us should register for FEMA. to
Every
start
one
with.
of us, you know, one of the things I've been hearing is some people say if you had damage. That's not the case. FEMA says if you were impacted by this event. And I can tell you everyone in this room has been impacted by this event. Whether it means you had to leave your home, even if it wasn't flooded, if you had to lose work, however you were impacted, register, register, register. It doesn't matter. Sally, go ahead.
Where's Sally?
Right here in the green. You can register right out here. Right. Yep, either one. Or online or on the phone. FEMA.gov. Yes.
First, I just want to say that I think you're doing a great job. I know how hard this has been. Now for the funky question. I have had a couple of inquiries from people who live in Riverbend, and they got message this morning that they're going to be required to turn over their slips, their titles to the house, and they want to be able to get their stuff out and inspect it and everything. And so, is there a way that they can find out what their rights are as tenants who own those mobile homes that are going to be totaled?
Well, that's new news to me. I hadn't heard they had been issued that yet. Okay. I don't want to be an expert at all on tenant-landlord relations. I understand. Just out here in the lobby tonight is a whole group of people that are presenting on tenant rights. What I can do, and I'm having the mayor take notes as we're talking tonight, is to I didn't mean that bad, Julie. I just knew you had a notebook. No, we will add to our list to try to find out about tenant rights, and we'll get it posted. Okay? I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did. So we will see what we can find out and get some information posted.
I went to the Boulder OEM site, and I couldn't find anything on Lyons anywhere on that site yesterday.
There should be a whole section on Lyons.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing available. I searched and searched and couldn't find anything for Lyons on that.
Do you know anything about that, Nick? He said put it in the search criteria in the top right-hand corner, type in Lyons. See what you get. Question back here.
I have a question. You've said this is not a mandatory evacuation. I'm a hardcore outdoors person. I have no problem living in my home without water, sewer, or electricity. I can do what I need in my shed. I have the equipment to do that in a very environmentally safe way. I have to come and go as I please because I work for a living, and I have to be able to get to the airport at 6 a.m. or do whatever I need to do to work. This will ruin me. I really see this being a 3 to 6 month evacuation, and you're telling us our homes are gone for that period. My house is completely untouched. And I know it's very politically difficult to ask a hard question in this setting as a person who owns an intact house, given the fact that we grieve for people who lost their homes. But for those of us with businesses, especially businesses that were home-based, having to move all that out in 6-hour bursts in 80-degree heat and then given no information regarding our options or our rights is unacceptable. If this is a mandatory evacuation, you need to call it a mandatory evacuation. If it's not, and I'm willing to live in my home and be safe and promise not to burn my house down, which I do not plan to do, I'd like to know what my rights are to continue to sleep in my own bed.
This is not a mandatory evacuation. Our law enforcement officials and the town elected officials discuss this. A mandatory evacuation means that we are willing to arrest people and take them out. We don't want to do that. If you are self-sufficient, stay in your home. We have every right to restrict access because we are in a public health emergency. A home is not considered habitable if it does not have sewer and water. That is why we can say we prefer you not to be in your home. The Board of Trustees has chosen not to make it mandatory. I guess I'd like to ask, what are you using for a restroom?
I have an EcoSafe river toilet. I have an EcoSafe river toilet. It's in my shed. It's secure. It's behind a latch door.
And where's the waste going?
It goes into a tank with RV-style digester in it.
And what happens when that's full?
I will empty it at an RV
Okay,
station.
then stay there. You're fine. Stay.
But I have to come and go as I please.
You
so
can go as you please, and we'll figure it out that you can come as you please. We
There-
just needed this
Okay.
week to figure out a
If that's
system.
the official position I need to pass to get through the gate, there are elderly people in my neighborhood that are hiding out and saying I'm about to run out of supplies because of how rigidly the come and go thing has been interpreted. And I talked to one man this afternoon that feels he's trapped in his house and he's about to run out of stuff. And I really don't like talking to people who are 70 years old and are stuck in a house because they feel authorities are keeping them from being able to get out. I have a commanding view of my whole neighborhood. If I work at home during the day, I can watch all 30 homes in my neighborhood and keep an eye on everything. And I just think that those of us that are willing to be even deputized, I mean, I'm a public figure. I can be deputized and swear to things and mean it, that I think we have value to contribute to the community.
Okay. We are, sure. But I do want you to know, we are trying to do a public service by letting you get in there today. And as soon as we figure out a good system to do that, we will lift that, all right? But it is not, and I will repeat, it is not, it may have been okay for a few days not to have sewer and water, but it is not by state law habitable to be living in a situation with no sewer and water.
I want to reiterate a few things here. So, no, there is no mandatory. We will work with the people who opt to stay in this environment. Being a parent and so forth, I would highly suggest that you do not live in an environment as such where children or anyone else can get sick from something either in their house or that they make contact with lions. But absolutely, we will work with whoever we can, whoever desires to stay in the town and do that. Not a problem. It'll take a little bit to work it out with you or whoever else. Give us some time. I'll talk to you tonight, and we'll get her done. But you're just one of many, and we'll do whatever we can. I want to hit on a few more subjects here first. Property found. The different search teams, because we are still in search and recovery mode, the search and recovery have found actually a lot of stuff in the streams. We've, wallets and guns and so forth. But more important than that is we found some pictures that have been returned to the sheriff's office. So a little different way of doing this, instead of putting into evidence and nobody knowing what it is, what I'm going to try to do is work with the town of Lyons. We'll take photographs of those pictures and we'll put them on the webpage. You need the pictures. Those are the memories. You guys can tell us who they are and we'll get them back to you. Could you explain the McConnell before we forget?
Oh,
Entry
sure.
into McConnell.
Sure. As most of you know, the Lyons Valley Park area, Lyons Park Estates and Lyons Valley Village is inaccessible on normal roadways. Both bridges to and from those subdivisions are gone. Not the bridges, the roads. We have been able to work with some private landowners who have allowed us to cross their private property to allow you to get in and out of that area. So if you are trying to get to that area, you need to go south on 5th Avenue, cross the bridge, turn left on the old South St. Vrain, and make an immediate left onto Road 69. Right now, that road is one lane, not the best, but it's passable. We are working to make it 2 lanes because right now it's quite a long trek, and you get almost all the way there and meet somebody. So we're trying to make it 2 lanes. But if you're wondering how you're going to get there, if you have a permit to go back, it's the same evacuation route we took the night of the storm. Yes? Oh.
They can't hear you outside.
Thank you. Victoria, I
Yes.
know you've addressed, obviously, we have sewage needs and so forth. Those of us, for example, in Lyons Valley Park, so we have the McConnell Road and the 2nd Avenue Road. Has it been talked about whether, even if sewage is back up and so forth, but those roads are not accessible, would it open before then, or is there any anticipation of having a temporary bridge over one of those roads?
Right now, our access is that Road 69. If we can make it 2 lanes, that would be all the better. It will really, the Lyons Fire Protection District will have some say in that. If they feel confident they could get vehicles in and out of there in an emergency, they will get some say into that. Jim, I don't know, is it possible we get a temporary bridge?
Yes. These are definitely all topics, the access, especially into LVP in the south part of town, that have been a serious focus of discussion. And we're getting the people in town now that as they're doing these damage assessments, part of the damage assessments include costs for temporary measures. And those costs for temporary measures will include things such as considerations of temporary bridges, interim water and wastewater connections, and other things. So yes, there is that possibility. We have the high school over there and middle school as well, so there is a huge consideration of life safety trying to pass school buses and also the fire equipment that would have to go over that, whatever that happens to be, into that area. So temporary bridges, nothing new. The Army throws them up in days on military routes, but we've got a little ways to go before we assess fully what that is, given the course of the river, where it might end up, and then the other needs that are associated with it.
So no firm answers on that yet. I think all options are going to be considered. Yes, we have the gentleman in the blue hat.
So we live in Lyons Park Estates.
Yes.
We have power.
Yes.
We have propane. We are on septic.
Mm-hmm.
And we have well water.
Yes.
We cannot enter the town freely when we would like to because of work.
Mm-hmm.
I work for another municipality who also had emergencies, and we aren't able to get in and out of there. And it's a major issue for us and for people that have homes like that. It would be good if they could use those homes and drive to work and come home from work. So we're not, so it doesn't affect some people that we're okay.
Sure.
The people that are 1,000 feet above the river, it doesn't make sense that they cannot. I understand
It's my understanding that if you live in an unincorporated Boulder, you have unlimited access in and out of the community. That's what I was told. You should have a yellow sticker, a yellow thing that goes over your dawn to dusk, or dusk to dawn, dawn to dusk. You know what? I would not be that concerned about that one item. Again, you want to speak to that?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Dave, hi. So to address your concern, thinking about it, it doesn't make sense if you're not in there and understanding what's happening with the disaster relief teams and the changing conditions. So what we have is, during the day, there's hundreds of people running around doing their search and rescue efforts. They're on the ground, they're looking at things, they're working 12 to 16-hour shifts. We have communications, everybody's manning those, sitting there watching them. We can have eyes on the conditions. If more of the road sloughs off, we're right there, we're on it, we see it. When those people, when the sun goes down and it gets dark, those people have to sleep. There are still National Guard around town. There are still some of those people that are active and awake, but the forces are cut way down, so we don't have people all over town looking at those things, looking at those conditions. So you may be in a situation where someone has looked at the road and it looked okay. They went on because they're so short-staffed at that time because the rest periods they're required to do. They don't have the ability to stand there and watch it. It could change. The road could slough off into the creek, and you know, you're coming in at 3 in the morning and you drive into it. So and these people are working hard during the day where you can see everything. It's a lot safer. Conditions are a lot better for it. So that's what you don't see by not being there all the time. And I know it's hard because, yeah, you know, it looks like during the day it'd be great to pop in and pop out any time, but we really are still seeing things change. So.
Boy, there are road edges just falling off. We have rock slides starting. It's just not a safe place to be right now. It just isn't. The gentleman in the red and then the woman with the dog.
My question is access to our homes.
Yes.
Tomorrow I will be going to Eagle Canyon.
Yes.
Now, my pass is really confusing. It says from 12 to 2, from 5:30 to
Yes.
7:30. I was told that if you're not there by 2 o'clock, you will have to stay until 7:30. I'm sorry, to 5:30.
The reason that those were listed that way is because we have, for example, today going out to Lyons Valley Park, hundreds of vehicles on a one-lane road. We have to have everyone come in at once and then everyone go the same direction at the end. And so because we can't have 150 cars go and then one decides he's going to come out and mess up the whole system. So what we're asking is that we want the majority of the cars to all go in at once and then turn around and come out because all of our bridges are one lane. So again, not something that we're going to, you know, have a fit over if you need to get out sooner. We're just trying to create some order. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. The woman with the dog. And I should know your name. Tell me your name.
Sherry Hoffer.
Sherry,
I
yes,
live up
hi.
in X-Bar 7.
Yes.
I just hadn't heard anybody talk about the, a lot of people find their photos and films and things really trashed and might be tempted to throw them away thinking they're lost.
Yes.
And there's some person that posted, I couldn't find it this afternoon, but I'll make sure by tomorrow afternoon it's on, well, tomorrow morning, it's in the group called Lyons Happenings. If you're not a member of that group, join it. You just click yourself in. I don't think you have to wait for anybody to allow you into the group on Facebook. And I'll post links. Keep your pictures and films and things wet. And don't dry them out. And this guy or person or people, they've got some stations around the area. They said 3 of them, and they're letting people come in and wash their photos and things and salvage stuff and transfer stuff onto other forms of media.
Thank you, Sherry. Since we're almost to the end of our time, can we keep the remaining questions, things that are pertinent to everyone, please? And then if you have individual questions about your situation, we can take those. So if your question is pertinent to the whole group, you pick. You pick.
Someone from the back.
Okay.
I just have a warning for people. I got a call today from FEMA, said he was an inspector and wanted to meet me, but because of my cell phone, I could see that the call was from Puerto Rico. So don't give out any information on the phone from somebody that calls you. Make sure you ask them what information that you submitted to FEMA. So it should be something that they couldn't get just generally.
Yes, watch for scammers. Okay. All right.
Also, for those who are concerned about FEMA support, my experience was that I registered online. I scheduled an inspection, but my house was unreachable in Lyons Valley Park. I know my house is undamaged and intact, but I got a call from an inspector. They told me to meet them at the Walmart parking lot. And I met them, and they verified that, yep, your house is uninhabitable, not a mandatory evacuation. They said it's an uninhabitable home because it doesn't have the necessary services. The following day, I had $1,500 in my checking account from FEMA. So don't give up. Be persistent with them.
Cooperate with the process. We have so many. It's not just us in Lyons. You know, many of our whole state are going through this. Julie, do you want us to wrap it up? You know. Oh, we have one more.
Just one question as well.
Mic on that last question. We need a mic. Where's the mic?
Right here.
Wait, can you wait? Because they can't hear your question out in the audience.
I heard a question. Her question was, if my house just has carpet that's wet, wall to wall, and no further damage, can I clean it up? Can you take? You can take it out. Don't take it away. Put it on the curb. That's fine. That's fine. Yes, you've had one more. Go ahead. Yes. I can tell you, I know there's been a big concern about looting and security in our neighborhoods. As Sergeant Goldberger said, we have 6 National Guard troops, one stationed in every area of town, driving around in vehicles and carrying weapons and stopping people if they're not sure. And we have had no reports of actual break-ins of any type. Yes. Tell them how we're going to keep them informed. We can if you want to. I think it's good
Okay.
to.
So we're going to wrap this up, but we could be here for hours. We have to figure out a way of getting your questions to staff as they work through things. And Janelle is making some kind of... Come to the Lyons Resource Center at the Twin Peaks Mall Disaster Assistance Area Center, the DAC.
She said give them their questions. We'll answer.
And leave Janelle questions, and they will try and gather them and get them to staff, okay? The hours of operations right now, and this is created yesterday, so they're trying to find volunteers, is 10 to 2.
Saturday and Sunday also?
Saturday and Sunday also? Sorry. Right now, they're trying to put together volunteers to make sure someone is there. So this has been created today, 10 to 2, and I think it'll be Saturday and Sunday, but let's get it up on some website so you can see. Now, other thing I want to say, I want to thank you. I want to thank Longmont. I don't. I want to thank Longmont, and I particularly want to thank the people that were here giving you information. We will try and do this on a weekly basis if possible. You know, that may be news to Longmont, but so we'll check with them. We will all try and find a bigger venue maybe. We'll be on it. I think this really helps the face-to-face and actual answers. And I hope you leave here feeling a little better about the resources that are being mobilized on your behalf. So thank you.